Hello everybody, my name is Rachel and this is my review of The Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. The footage you're going to see after this clip is actually taken from a stream of recaps I did for my weekly wrap-up on June 7th, and I decided to just cut it out and make it a separate video because I talked a little bit too much, so hopefully you guys don't mind that too much, and here's what I said about it. Okay, let's try to explain what this book is about. So humanity is hundreds of years in the future, and humanity has spread out across hundreds of planets in the galaxy after the destruction of Earth. And they are linked by Farcaster portals, which allow for instantaneous travel in between planets. This is a technology that has been given to humanity of the hegemony by the AI Technocore. Yeah, this has AI. They're not always really nice either. And there's another branch of humanity called the Ousters, which instead of adapting their environments to suit them, they adapt their bodies and themselves to live in other environments, to live in a space traveling environment. So they don't live on planets, they live like on ships or on like asteroid colonies. And the Ousters at the beginning of Hyperion are coming to attack the hegemony, presumably over the planet Hyperion, which is like, it's a variable that throws off predictions and forecasts. The AI Technocore does a lot of forecasting for the hegemony to predict the future and tell the hegemony how to fight the Ousters, but they can't do this very well because Hyperion is just in the way. Hyperion and the sort of mythical creature, this monster, the Shrike, get in the way. The CEO of the hegemony, Gladstone, thinks, for some reason, that the 7 pilgrims going on the last Shrike pilgrimage, introduced in the first book, Hyperion, what they want from the Shrike, what they are seeking on Hyperion, will somehow influence the fate of the entire galaxy and what happens with the war. And does it not? You will find out if you read the book. There's this huge grand scale story about this galaxy-wide war that's brewing and all of these like decades-long political schemes, and then you have these intensely personal stories of these pilgrims on Hyperion, their various encounters with each other and then with the Shrike, and what this all means. And then in this book, you get thrown in another perspective, which is this guy named Joseph Severn, he's a cybrid. He is like he's an artificial intelligence in a humanoid body, and he is like the cousin or brother or copy of another cybrid who was the personality of the poet John Keats, who was the lover of one of the pilgrims on Hyperion. And Severn, for some reason, has a connection with the pilgrims on Hyperion. When he sleeps, when he dreams what they are doing. But his role in the story becomes much bigger than just a perspective, so you get like this framework for seeing the pilgrim stories. This was so well done, in my opinion. The writing was very strong, the plot was great, the characters were interesting. I ended up enjoying all of the characters' storylines. I even liked Martin Silenus by the end, and he was my least favorite character for a long time. He's just this really potty-mouthed old poet who was really cantankerous, but I liked him by the end as well. And I think why I enjoyed this book even more than the first book, which was excellent, is that it has a good ending. I liked the conclusion. I liked how everything was wrapped up. I'm not a big fan of open-ended or up for interpretation endings in science fiction. If it's science fiction, I kind of expect plausible answers. And The Fall of Hyperion is not hard SF, so there are not like super duper science-y technological explanations for a lot of things, but it could have been very easy for things like the very mythical, strange monster of the Shrike to just not be explained, but instead I think that all the questions that were really important were answered, and there were plausible explanations for just about everything, and it ended on a note that I really liked. So this was just an excellent book. I highly recommend it, and the first book. I hope that more people read this and then come back and talk to me about it. That's everything that I have to say about The Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have read this book or Hyperion, or even the books that come after this, like Endymion or The Rise of Endymion, please let me know down below. I would love to hear from you, and I will talk to you again in my next video. Bye.